Hello and welcome to another MetalFromNL Tiplijst. This is episode 30 and we've got 10 brand new tracks for you today. Starting off with a new track by Kelsey, basically hardcore, maybe hardcore punk, weird chaotic music at least. And we've got some death metal in this episode as well, from Maatkare, the title track to their debut album Rise to Power. We also got Burial Remains, who also released a new album, Haliphron, who also released a new album. And we're ending today's episode with the latest track of Changing Tides. Turn your headphones up a bit. We're starting off the tip list loud. This is Kelsey with This Is the Girl. Alright, that was Kelsey with This Is The Girl. Kelsey, or Cult of Kelsey as they name themselves on Instagram. They're a hardcore band from Nijmegen. Well, post-metal punk, hardcore-ish, really. They've been releasing tracks of their upcoming record for a while now, and This Is The Girl is the third track of that new record. First few minutes feel like maybe like a punk rock track until those screamy vocals kicking and the distorted guitars, of course. And at that point, it feels like the rest of the tracks that we've heard from Kelsey. chaotic, layered weirdness, raw energy. What's new in this track, at least for me, because I hadn't heard that before from this band, is the heavy breakdown at the end. And if you wondered if Kelsey is actually metal, well, they are, and you can hear that in the end of the track. Next up, female power trio that recently got upgraded to a quartet since they found a new drummer. This is Maatkare with Rise to Power. Yes, that was Maatkare with the title track to their debut album, actually, which is also called Rise to Power. And Maatkare is another project of Janneke de Rooij, who's also the vocalist for Beyond the Pale, who we had in our list a couple of editions back as well. And with Maatkare, they make like Egyptian-themed, feminism-inspired melodic death metal, and they're steadily gaining some attraction. They recently announced that they've upgraded from using a drum computer for rehearsals to an actual drummer. So now they're ready to climb the stage as well. So I'm curious to see if we're gonna see them live on stage at some point. Probably we will. The track itself is groovy. It's clearly pronounced vocals, so we can actually hear what the track is about. I really like that dissonant main riff. And when this track first came out, I think I already had it in this list few editions back, but I'm not sure on that. And I actually mentioned back then that this felt like the heaviest track of the band till date. If you want to know if that's still true, check out the rest of the album. And Maatkare is one of the few bands that I think that they actively address the feminism point of view in the lyrics, and they really push that female empowerment statement in their music while making kick-ass modern melodic death metal. So I love it. Time for some groove metal with the second track from this band from Overijssel. This is To Destroy with Drained. Yes, that was To Destroy with their latest track, Drained. And To Destroy is working on releasing their debut record. I'm not sure if it's going to be an EP or an album, so forgive me for that. Drained is the second track that they released. Drained starts off quite slow with like a dark bass riff, and after the slow build up, we get like the mid-tempo riffs. In terms of songwriting, it's not as straightforward as I would expect with like clear verses and riffs, but there are some repeating parts. I'm not sure it feels really cohesive though, and there's some very nice riffs in there, but it feels, well, at least the first few times I heard it, it felt like a bit of a confusing track to me. After I've heard it a few times, I there's just some awesome bass parts in there, so they kind of won me over with that, I think. But I still feel like the track is like 80% there. They could have used some more time to polish it and listen to it with a critical ear, maybe. This is much more a groove metal track than the previous track that they released, which was more on like the thrash metal side. So I'm looking forward to see more from this band, because this I at least some of the riffs in there I actually really enjoyed. Next up, it's available on YouTube as well, because they released a video clip for this as well. This is Elithium with The Tower. Right, that was Elithium with The Tower, and as I said before, they made a video clip for this as well. They make symphonic metal, and that's a thing the Netherlands have excelled at for some time, and I actually know Yvette, the vocalist, personally from a previous band we were both in, and I'm really glad she found a new project because her vocals are amazing. Elithium has been around for some time, releasing their first single in 2020, I remember. Last year they released an EP that was still with their previous vocalist, and currently the band is working on new material, and it sounds very promising, I have to say. After a very short intro, this track, it has some folky influences, and reminds me a lot of other bands in the genre, like Epica, Autumn, stuff like that. Elithium is much more on the folk-inspired progressive kind of spectrum. Yvette's vocals are powerful, and the production match that energy quite nicely, and it wouldn't surprise me if this band really takes off with music like this, and I cannot wait to see what else they will release. Not much more to say about the track, it's just a great track, really. Next up, a band that we already mentioned last week as well. This is Ilaender with Mind Over Matter.
Don't say another word, it is for the better. is for the better.
Yes, Mind Over Matter from Ilaender. They released their debut EP Alpha on the 19th of October, and I already talked about a few previous tracks before the release. So I had to put in a track that they didn't release separately on the single, and I decided on Mind Over Matter. Ilaender makes alternative nu metal, and Mind Over Matter is a little bit on the more gloomier side, a really emotional song, kind of like I Know Nothing, maybe even gloomier. And I love that melancholic feel with like the almost positive chorus with like the beautiful vocals. And if you've watched this channel, you know I'm a sucker for good vocals, and they blend in nicely with the layers of vocal harmonies and synths in the backgrounds and stuff like that. Big thumbs up for the production on this album as well. Might be too soft for most people or some people, but Ilaender could very well be like a nice gateway band for people that aren't really into metal yet. They will for sure appreciate it, because it's maybe more on the heavy rock side than actual metal, but they do have heavier stuff as well, so make sure to check out the full EP. Speaking of heavier stuff, this is Condolence with Dying. Yes, Condolence with Dying, with a first EP in 1990 and their second recording just released this month. I get curious about the gap in between, because Condolence is back after more than a 30-year gap. And if we have to believe Spotify, that's because the vocalist wanted to publish the tracks after all. We need a few old school death metal bands in the Netherlands to balance out all the core that's been sprouting recently, so we don't mind at all. Condolence makes old school death metal. The track starts off really slow and heavy and even a bit towards the doom metal end of the spectrum, but with a string band we get sent into the full-blown death metal track right after. And the lyrics aren't really worth checking out, I assume, because all I can hear is I'm gonna die and dying. But who listens to the lyrics anyway with a track like this? The riffs are fast, technical, they're just fun to listen to, and we don't really care. It's a cool track, so yeah, come on through with the rest of the tracks. Condolence, we like it. Taking a bit of a break from the heaviness again with the next track. This is Baas with their latest track, Try.
Once I found a love so cold, it broke my heart and took my soul away. They say the time will heal the pain. The scars she left, they feel the same, and it's hurting so deep inside. Take a look around to all the memories that I found and see stolen pictures of me. I don't know what I've been told, and I don't know what they missold, but today she stayed away. Why don't you try to make things right? Don't you try to stand and fight? Won't you please stay the night? Don't you tell me that you've lied?
Yes, that was Try from Baas, and Baas is back. And while this is not a metal track, we decided to put it in a Tiplijst anyway because Baas can be metal if they want to. Just check out their other records, and they were finalists in the metal battle last year, so they are a metal band. Anyway, Try is their latest release, and it's more of a grungy ballad. It starts off again with some clean grungy guitars, kind of similar to Baas's previous track Backstage. And while not metal but crunchy hard rock, it's a nice in-between track. It's a simple track, done well. I have to say I actually quite enjoyed it. But we're named MetalFromNL, and it's time for some true death metal again with the latest release from Burial Remains, which is also the title track of their latest album. This is Adversarial. That was Burial Remains with Adversarial. And Adversarial is the third album by Burial Remains. It's filled with gnarly, fast death metal riffs, and I really like gnarly, fast death metal. They take inspiration from Swedish death metal scene with bands like Entombed and Dismember, and they didn't hold back for this release at all. Gnarly riffs, gnarly production as well. It's a nasty guitar sound, nasty in a good way though. Not as muddy as you would sometimes get with death metal. Of course, we get a guitar solo in the end, more toned down riffs as well, but the majority is just full-on mosh pit banger. Next up, from their latest album as well, this is Haliphron with Anatomy of Darkness.
God has told mankind that he wanted the world created for his son, and that it was his son who made all things for his father. That's when you, Satan, came to earth to destroy the son's creation. Our Heavenly Father has told us that you are the devil, an evil spirit, and all your angels and those deceived by you will go into everlasting punishment, to the place that God calls hell, where there will be outer darkness,
Yes, that was Haliphron's Anatomy of Darkness. Haliphron, they saw the light at the end of the pandemic, focusing on melodic death metal, maybe a bit symphonic death metal. And we love women in metal, and not only does this band have a female vocalist, but they also have a female bass player. Not that you hear the vocalist on this track at all, because their title track is mainly an instrumental track. There's some samples on it. But yeah, that's about it. It's the title track of their latest album. It starts off with a very melodic intro. It's a melodic song all throughout. Synths play a very big role in their music anyway, but guitar has the main focus, and also on this track. And with the pounding drum track to drive the track, the guitars for sure get our head banging, and the dark, eerie feeling instilled by both the guitars and the synths help to sell the darkness in the title. The rest of the tracks on the album do feature more female vocals though, so do listen to the rest of the album as well. Anatomy of Darkness, it's the conclusion to just over half an hour of pounding melodic death metal. At times, by the way, very black metal influenced death metal, but stay tuned for the full review, because we're gonna tell you a lot more on that later. We're ending today's episode with the final track of Changing Tides, up-and-coming deathcore band. And they're actually releasing their new album this weekend. And for this track, the title track to their album, they released a very hot YouTube video as well. This is Amidst the Grey.
Say how I'm on a
Yes, that was Changing Tides with Amidst the Grey. This track is actually more enjoyable if you watch the video, because that's some epic shit with fire and aggression and grittiness and all the good things you expect from a metalcore video. If Amidst the Grey tells us anything about the upcoming album, it's that they continue on the path of impaired vision, but everything got turned up a few notches. The grunts are deeper, they have more impact, the guitar riffs are a lot more technical, there's a lot more layers, and there's just more fire if you look at the video, more fire if you listen to the track as well. The full album drops at the end of the week, so pre-save it if you listen before that, or just listen to the full album when it drops. And on the 10th of November they have a release party in 013 in Tilburg. We're gonna be there, so maybe see you there. This was today's episode for MetalFromNL Tiplijst. Last week, Aschrouw will later this week, Aschrouw will drop their album. Actually tomorrow on the 31st on Halloween. Changing Tides will also release their album Amidst the Grey. Betonblok is dropping their debut EP on Friday this week. So all of those will be in next week's episode probably. We have plenty of other new tracks for the next episode already lined up. If you like what we do, give us a like, subscribe to our channel maybe. There will be an interview with Ecocide coming up next week as well for their new album release that will happen on the 9th of November. So if you don't want to miss that, subscribe and see you next week.